Hello everyone, this is the day 8 of Mastering Python Programming, and today's topics are Python functions, which we have already learned, but this time we are also going to learn about functions with parameters, and also the positional versus keyword arguments, what are they? And our final project is Caeser Cipher project. So this is our final project, Caesar Cipher, where we can type encode to encode a message. Let's say going to type. Let's say I type a message. I am a programmer, and then I hit enter, and we need to enter the shift. Let's say 9. Then here comes the our encoded message. People cannot understand what this is until and unless they write the exact shift number and get the real message. So here, that's what decoding is. If you want to quit, then yes. Otherwise, no. I don't want to quit. I want to decode this time. Here I can type the same message which I want to decode, and I can enter the shift number which I can know from my friend. Let's say it is 9, 8 only. I get to see the message what it was, and we can just keep going. Otherwise, if you say yes, I want to quit, and say that is it. Thanks for using our program. So this is our final project. I hope you are ready. I hope you are ready to start with the first topic, which is Python functions with parameters. When you define a function, you can pass data into it through parameters. Parameters are variables listed into the parentheses in the function defining. You remember that we define function by def, greet, and empty parentheses. But this time, we add something in here which are called parameters. Parameters are like input slot. They allow you to reuse function with different values. So it helps us to make functions different according to the value. So here name is a parameter. The way we define the function stays the same, but we just add the parameter name in here and we later use it. And when it comes to calling the function with argument, here the value will be called parameter, but here it will be called argument. You will see on internet people is calling them parameters and argument, so don't confuse with the wording. Okay. Greet Alice, greet Bob. This will print hello Alice, and this will print hello Bob, which makes them different according to the value we input. Here is the example, def square number. The result is the square of the number. The square of number is this, and this is the result. So when we call the function with different values, it will print different output. Key points. You can have multiple parameters, A, B. It is not limited to one. Here comes our coding challenge. Create a function called describe pet that takes two parameters, animal type and pet type, a pet name. The function should print a sentence like, I have a dog named Bruno. Define the function, use parameters in the print statement, call the function with different animal and names. I hope you have understood what to do. Now pause the video and give this challenge a good go. Here's the solution. You can find this in the A8 GitHub repository. This is the solution which I has comment out. Def describe pet, animal type, pet name. I have an animal type this whose name is pet name. So we call the describe pet here with the animal type dog and pet name doggy. Here cat and Lumi, and it will print out. The output will be I have a dog whose name is doggy, and same for the cat. So that was our challenge. Now the next topic is positional versus keyword arguments in Python. When calling a function, you pass arguments with parameters. These arguments can be passed in two ways. The way of passing, so it's simply the way of passing arguments. Positional, as the name suggests, we uh, these are passed in the same order as the parameters in the function definition. Name first, age then second. So here comes the name first and then the age. For the keyword arguments, these are passed by explicitly stating which parameter each argument is for, regardless of their order. Here, age is equal to 21 and name is equal to Alice. So no matter uh, which one comes first in the parameter, the argument position will define which would be the value of the age and the name. The keyword arguments make it more readable. Order doesn't matter here and helps avoid mistakes in long parameters list. Or also you can use a mixed approach. where you can have positional and keyword argument both at the same time. However, you first need to call the positional argument and then you can have the keyword argument. You cannot have the keyword argument first and then the positional argument. It will raise an error. Keep that in mind. Now here comes our second code challenge. Create a function book ticket with three parameters: name, destination, and seat class. So the name would be the person name, destination will be the city name, and the class will be economy, business, or first. You have to use positional argument in first function, first calling of the function, and then the keyword argument in another function call, and the mixed approach in the third call. That's the way, like, you understand how easy this challenge is, but it's a way for you to write code and understand, like, see on your own, just for the muscle memory. Okay, don't ignore these challenges. I personally do that. I mean, I personally do these challenges, not ignore it. Okay, so pause the video, give the challenge a good go. This is the solution for the challenge too. Here comes the function book ticket, name, destination, and seat class. Name, book a ticket to destination in seat class, and here we call it three times. One with the, oh, I'm sorry, I simply called it in a positional way. I never actually done that, so give me a minute. Sorry for the mistake. I hope you haven't made the same mistake. Now that was it. That's the only thing we need to learn in order to complete this challenge, which is Caesar Cipher project. I requested ChatGPT to provide me the ASCII art for the logo, project goal, instructions, and hints. Here's the logo. I'm not sure, like, I told the ChatGPT to provide me the logo for the Caesar type, but it provided me Cooper. Like, it's some kind of decoded name. Anyways, the project called build a Caesar cipher encoder and decoder. It should take a message and shift each letter by certain number of place in the alphabet. Originally, if the word is hello, it will add the three shift and encrypt into KHOOR instructions. The user will choose whether they want to encode or decode a message. We will give the that choice in the input, all right. The user enters the message, or it would add the encode or decode. The user enters a shift number, okay. The shift will shift each letter by that amount in the alphabet. Display the final encoded or decoded message. The program should run in a loop while the user decides to quit until the user decides to quit. Here is the starting code that you can find on the GitHub repository, and here you can have the list of the alphabets. When I was thinking for the logic of this project, I found that if a user, let's say the word is actually V, like very helpful. So, and the user says that he wants a shift of 10. So here there are only four letters. And then for like 10, it will go out of the range and we will get the error. But I couldn't think of any way where I could I could think of that way where we can turn things into negative and it will go back to A, B, and C. But, that would be too much. Uh, Also, if an else blocks will be there. So I thought that should think of different solution. And before I was going to search on the Google, I I looked at the hints of the uh, ChatGPT and found that here we can duplicate the list two times. So in that way, if the person, like, let me double it and show it to you. Now here, if the user types the shift of and 10 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it will end up on F. And if we decode that, that would go back to V. Now I think we are ready to start working on our process. So first we need to print the logo. Then we need to input what the user will type. Uh, User's choice, I think. Now I should turn it into lower. Now we have the user choice. We also need to make the user input the message. Also the shift number. So I think we have everything we need from the user. Now here comes our one. Encoded message. Well, I think we should turn it into a function. Okay. It will take the shift number and the message. So now we need to think of the mechanism. I want to try something. Well, I got my desired result. Now here comes the shift. Why am doing user's choice? It should be message, right? Let's see. Yeah, it's working. Here it should stay the empty. Maybe my logic is very wrong. What I need to do is forget about this. Oh, I think whatever the character. That means I want to find the index of particular letter, and that would be in the message. That would be in the message, right? Alphabet character. Let's see. 7 for the index of H. Okay, it is 8. So it starts with the 0. No problem. And now it cannot have the index for the empty space. What we can do is, well, yeah, it's a problem because there will be some spaces, and let's say I remove the space and then decode the message. But later, how would I know where the space was? What do you say, guys? What could be the solution of handling the space? I can use the AI, but how about we Google what is in the heat? Okay, it says that we need to preserve alphabet characters, non-alphabet characters. Message.lower it would be possible, which we have done, but what about? I want to ask it from the ChatGPT. But before that, I think I should Google it. I should put my own efforts. I think handling the is lower and not would be too much. We need to provide a message. I don't think that the capitalization really mattered here. But I have found that uh, later I was worried like how we would handle the message that have a shift or crosses the limit of 26. Then here we can use the modulo. So it will like wrap the message around 26 and it will just repeat that, which is also a good solution. I got just a little idea how we can work here, but I'm still not sure. The ChatGPT code would be a good help, but I am not going to use that. I don't think this would be a good solution. How do I push plus impulse? So yeah, I forgot that we need to use a square braces and then the index to get the character at that position. If we cannot do that, then what's the point of having a function? Let's try. Whatever we enter here doesn't matter. Let's check this out. J H J. Yeah, it's working. So we had encoded. But guys, what is the problem here? Is that if we cannot make it dynamic, let's say I want to pass the message in here, then hold on. How about we do this? If oh, let's just want it. BC child. Okay, it's working. Great. Now for the decode, all we need to do is turn it into a negative sign. And the code looks very messy here, to be honest. The wording is very low. When I was focused on the logic, when I was focusing on the logic, I never worried about the word again. Let's just create two functions for now. Let's try. I never poured the decode, sorry. All right, it's working. Great. Now we need to create the while loop for this. Is quit if it would be if the user chose encode, we will call the function encode and vice versa. So let's try. And remember, guys, we cannot call a function before defining that. So we need to create the while loop after this. It doesn't really matter where we position the function, but it really matters where we call the functions. And we need to show them the error. And here we will ask if they want to quit or move on. So try again. If it is yes, then we turn our boolean into here the boolean to true, and then otherwise we just keep going. Well, to be honest, I think this is it. Let's try. I want to import a message, which is type the message I am help desk. Here the shift of let's say 9. Now, do you want to try again? Yes, of course I want to decode. No, I'm sorry. I should have typed something different here. Do you want to quit here? Type yes. Otherwise, type no. That should be there. Then show them something better. Not here. I want to encode a message. I am prepared. Shift of 2, 9. Do you want to quit here? Another grammar mistake. No. Decode. This is our message. No. Shift of 9. I am the best. Do you want to quit here? Yes. This is it. Thanks for using our program. Great. So this was our day 8 final project. I hope you have enjoyed making this, and you have seen that I really struggle a lot when I think about the logics, and day by day it is getting really tougher for me too. But that's how we learn. You can see that I gave my best. I tried to think of the logic, but if I can think it partially, then what I do, I apply the partial knowledge. I couldn't think of the best knowledge, like how I would have the message ready with the space. But I was thinking how I can use the index to get the word or the sequence I want. When I get the index of all the alphabet characters, I realize that I do not need the index. I need the character at that index. So I get the character and then I created an empty message and then pushed the code in here, the word, and then it just become very handy. So this was the logic that was taking me so much time to think. And once it done, it was everything else was a piece of cake. Everybody knows what a function, what a loop, a list, and these things are. It's the way of thinking of the logic that make program a program. That's where the programmer come. They think like a programmer, and that's your job to do. You do not need to memorize things, which I used to. But anyways, enough lecture for today. This is our project, which is a really cool, to be honest. Here I would like to explain the solution of the ChatGPT, which I think is really clean and a great way compared to mine. So here it created a function Caesar instead of creating two function encode and decode, and it takes the message, shift, and direction. So another thing to notice here is that uh, I was giving the argument as the input, like the whole text. But it what it does here is that it define them in variable, and then what it does here, shift is equal to shift. With that way, here comes the shift, and shift goes for the function. So this can also be done. And here, instead of doubling the list, we can use modulo 26 or the modulo length of the alphabet. That could also work. And instead of having the positive and negative for decode and encode, it can be used direction. So what it does is only if the decode is, if the direction is encode, then we plus, otherwise we minus it. Also, there is a solution that we can check if if only for the decode. If decode, then you multiply the shift number by -1 so that it becomes reverse. So there are several of solutions. There are so many solutions. My solution is quite different and yours will also be different. So there is not always a universal solution and something exact you need to follow. We all are different, so our thinking process can also be different. Here I didn't understand what is this ORD of A. I think it is something to get the order or the number for the instead of using the index. And I found my instructor's solution quite better than this and why. Here it's only use a while loop, use the direction, and then use the continue thing again. And have a great day. Subscribe if you want. And I'll see you next time.